Joseph Stalin was a key figure in the Soviet Union, leading the country from the 1920s until his death in 1953. Known for his controversial leadership style, Stalin oversaw significant political and economic changes within the Soviet Union during his tenure. Born in Georgia in 1878, Stalin's early life was marked by poverty and hardship. He was raised in a religious household and attended seminary school before becoming involved in the revolutionary movement in Russia. Stalin quickly rose through the ranks of the Communist Party, eventually becoming the General Secretary in 1922. As General Secretary, Stalin had significant control over the Soviet Union's government and its policies. He implemented a series of economic policies aimed at modernizing the country and increasing its industrial output. This included the 5-year plans, which set ambitious targets for industrial growth and collectivization of agriculture. However, Stalin's leadership style was also marked by a high level of repression and brutality. He oversaw purges of the Communist Party and the Red Army, resulting in the imprisonment and execution of thousands of people. Stalin's regime was also characterized by strict censorship, propaganda, and a cult of personality centered around the leader. Stalin's policies had significant impacts on the Soviet Union and the world at large. The country's industrial output increased dramatically under his leadership, turning the Soviet Union into a major global power. However, the human cost of Stalin's policies was immense, with estimates suggesting that millions of people died due to famine, repression, and forced labor under his regime. Stalin's leadership was also marked by a number of key international events. He played a significant role in World War II, leading the Soviet Union through the conflict against Nazi Germany. Stalin's leadership during the war was marked by a combination of strategic brilliance and callous disregard for the lives of his own soldiers. After the war, Stalin's policies led to an increasing tension with the United States and the other Western powers. The resulting Cold War shaped international politics for decades to come, with the Soviet Union becoming a major rival to the Western powers. In the decades since Stalin's death, his legacy has been hotly debated. While some view him as a hero who modernized and strengthened the Soviet Union, others view him as a brutal dictator whose policies caused immense suffering. Regardless of one's opinion, there is no denying the significant impact that Stalin had on the Soviet Union and the world at large. Joseph Stalin was a prominent figure in the Soviet Union, known for his leadership and controversial policies. Throughout his life, he made several statements that continue to be remembered today. We should take a look on some of his most famous quotes. "I trust no one, not even myself." This quote reflects Stalin's deep mistrust of others and his paranoia, which was a defining characteristic of his leadership style. He believed that anyone could be a potential threat to his power, and this mindset led him to take extreme measures to eliminate perceived enemies. "A single death is a tragedy, a million deaths is a statistic." Stalin's disregard for human life is captured in this infamous quote. He was responsible for the deaths of millions of people, yet he saw these deaths as mere statistics rather than individual tragedies. "Ideas are more powerful than guns. We would not let our enemies have guns, why should we let them have ideas?" This quote reflects Stalin's belief in the power of propaganda and censorship. He understood that controlling the narrative was essential for maintaining his grip on power, and he saw ideas as a potent weapon that could be used against him if allowed to spread. "The death of one man is a tragedy. The death of millions is a statistic." This quote is often attributed to Stalin, though it is unclear if he actually said it. Regardless, it reflects his callous attitude towards the suffering of others, and his willingness to sacrifice human life for his political goals. Education is a weapon whose effects depend on who holds it in his hands and at whom it is aimed. Stalin understood the importance of education in shaping the minds of the population. He saw it as a tool that could be used to promote his ideology and maintain his power, and he took great care to ensure that the educational system in the Soviet Union reflected his vision. The writer is the engineer of the human soul. This quote reflects Stalin's belief in the power of art and literature to shape the thoughts and emotions of the people. He saw writers as important figures who could promote his ideology and inspire the masses. If you want to make an omelette, you have to break a few eggs. This quote is often used to justify the brutal methods that Stalin used to achieve his political goals. It reflects his willingness to use violence and repression to bring about change, even if it meant sacrificing the lives and well-being of others. These famous quotes of Joseph Stalin reflect his complex and controversial legacy. While some of his statements may resonate with certain people, they also serve as a reminder of the brutal and repressive nature of his regime. We appreciate your support in watching our videos. If you enjoy learning about political, business, and science leaders' biographies and quotes, please consider subscribing to our channel and giving us a thumbs up to help us grow and continue bringing you valuable content.